How's everybody doing? I'm going to turn on the show comments on stage because I think that was a fun thing. If we get too many comments that interfere with what we're trying to see on the screen, then I'll turn the comments off, but turn them back on afterwards. Colton will be joining us in a few minutes. I just didn't hear his reason for missing the first few minutes because I already wrong link in Patreon. Oops, I do apologize. Let me see about that. Hold on a second. I don't know who else might be wanting to join me on stage, but if you are and there's no link on Patreon, then there should be the link. Hello, let's see. Let me go on to Patreon and just update the link. I do apologize. I'll do this as quickly as possible. This is the links for June 9th. Here we go. Edit. Okay. I don't know if that's also the case with the YouTube link on there. I don't know. But there it is updated. Next, save. All right. Try to log on through there now. If there's a problem, I'll send it to you directly on some other way. YouTube link was good. Fantastic. All right. My mama's here today. She wasn't in the first session, but she's here for the second hour. Hello, Mama. And Michael is here. There's Colton coming up on stage. There you are.
Howdy.
Great. Hi, Michael. Welcome back. And that should be that. All right. So we are going to pop up today lesson 23 from Seow's Grammar. I'll remind everybody how this lovely book looks. I type out whatever I can from the lesson that's not really copying it, but just giving my own opinion on how it should be. And Colton says he'll be right back. All right, let me know and I'll put you back on stage. So this is our 27th session, our 27th meeting together, going over this book. And this is lesson 23. And remember, there are, as far as I remember, 30 lessons in the entirety of the book. So we are getting close. We are past the second third. We're in the last third of the book. Yep, there are 30. So here we go, getting into lesson 23. Again, this Yiyu leratzoni breifi ve'egion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri v'go'ali. Maybe I will sing it one time. Colton, let me know when you want back on stage because I can't really, I can see you, but you know. I want to sing it one time and you can play it back if you want to practice it because I mentioned last week that maybe I'd sing it for you. So it says, Yiyu leratzon imrei fi והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable unto thee, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer, my rock and my redeemer, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Amen, amen, amen. That's why we sing it in the synagogue where I was in Missouri. But I don't know how everybody else sings it, but it's a beautiful, beautiful combination of words, and I hope that it sits in your heart. These are our wonderful Patreon members. For those who pay for our Patreon membership and like to hear me sing, I don't know. Do go over and check out patreon.com/thehebrew-cafe. I put up a note for people who are non-paying members, and I'm going to start doing that to give indication of where we're going and what we're going to be doing on the channel and what I hope to accomplish with all of that. Good. We are getting a little bit of perspective on this slide right here to look at ma'asinu ad ata, me'asinu ad ata. What have we done until now? We've covered in the binyan kal, that is the first binyan that we're covering of the 7 binyanim, the perfect that we call the katal, the imperfect, yiktol, narrative past, vaiktol, and the vakatal uses, that is vakatal, using the katal for the future, also for predictions and instructions. The volitionals, jussive, imperative, and cohortative, that we spent a lot of time in, and the infinitive absolute. These are things that we spent time in over the last several weeks, and we really wanted to drill home, basically the grammar wants to drill home all of these things with regard to the kal, because once we finish the kal and we start to the piel, hifil, hitpael, and then the passive binyanim, they all will address the same basic features. So once we've covered it for the kal, it's easy to cover it for the other binyanim. And so they spent a lot of time in the kal, and in the next bit of this course, we're going to finish the kal today with the infinitive construct, and then each chapter, each lesson from the book basically is going to cover an entire binyan. They already gave you the perfect of the piel and the hifil, and they're going to give you, like next lesson, they're going to give you the whole breakdown of the piel, because once you've got the ideas and the concepts, then it doesn't make such a big deal whether you're dealing with one binyan or another one. You just have to kind of memorize the forms and understand the principles involved. So we're going to finish up the binyan kal today with the infinitive construct, and then next week start into the other binyanim. All right. The infinitives, absolute and construct. We have 2 infinitives in Hebrew. The absolute is the one that acts as an adverbial infinitive. It connects to the verb most of the time to give the way that something is done or to call the verb into focus. So in lesson 22, that's last week, Shi'ur Kaf Bet, 22, we looked at the infinitive absolute, the way that Hebrew has to italicize the verb and to put focus on it, and among other things, because remember that sometimes infinitive absolutes just act really strange. And yeah, if you look in Gesenius's grammar, he's got a long explanation of infinitive absolute because it's not a simple topic. Anyway, the vocalization of the infinitive absolute in Hebrew in the kal, anyway, is ao, like ganov and katol. So this sentence here, ganov ganavta, normally you would translate it, people translate it, you have surely stolen, but basically we're going to think of it as putting emphasis on the verb. You've stolen it. Ganov ganavta, you have stolen. It's putting the emphasis on the verb. In essence, the infinitive construct that we're going to cover today is the verbal noun of biblical Hebrew. In modern Hebrew, we have a different verbal noun. It's called Shem Pe'ula, and it will take, if we have our 3 root letters, in the kal, it's going to have shva, cherik yod, and hey with kamatz. So kitila and gida. Gida means cheating. It's the verbal noun, or doing like treason, begida. It's the verbal noun. It's what we call the gerund in English. So if we think of a gerund, we're going to say it's a verb that's acting like a noun. So I'm going to try to keep my eyes open for when Colton's ready to come back. So you would say, I like pizza. Pizza is a noun, right? But you can also say, I like running. Running is a verb, but it's a verb that's acting like a noun, and it will sit anywhere that a noun sits in a sentence. So you can say running is healthy, just like you say pizza is not healthy. Okay? Somebody might make the claim, eating, it's a verb with ing, eating McDonald's every day is healthy. Well, you'd say it's not healthy, but running every day is healthy. The idea of the verbal noun is this ing in English, and we call it a gerund. In Hebrew, we use the infinitive construct. We use it both for the ing, the gerund, and for to do something. The infinitive is also to do something in biblical Hebrew. So it has a lot of uses. So Cooch and Josberger, I'm going to call. Okay, Colton, you're back. There you go. Cooch and Josberger. That's the Learning Biblical Hebrew Grammar book. It's fantastic. They state, or they indicate on pages 208 to 210, where they discuss the infinitive construct, that the infinitive construct should be thought of as joining elements together. Okay, it's being in construct with them. It's a verbal noun that's in construct with other things. And it can be joined with a pronominal suffix, whether as the subject of the verb or as the object. And normally they take different forms that we'll kind of talk about when we look at it. And with another noun, like it can be like the king's keeping or the man's watching or something. It can be joined together. With a lamed, lamed is normally showing purpose, but it can also show like the manner, like in our reading just a minute ago where we said not lahachis. Lahachis is used in 1 Samuel for by inciting God. This was, Colton, do you remember what you read when it was an infinitive and it was like it's by?
It was Lahodia. I mean, there's Lahodieni.
I think that it was Lehalototi, by bringing me up.
Yes, that one. Sorry, I didn't know what you were referring to.
Yeah, there are a lot of infinitives in the reading we just did.
Yep.
Or with the prepositions bet or kaf, and bet and kaf would be mostly temporally.
Can I butt in real quick about the infinitive construct?
Sure.
It's a simplification, and I'll start off with saying that. But I do think it's really helpful to think about it as an event, because events are things, right? We can talk about a thing, an event being, hey, I went to the event yesterday. But because it's a verb, it's a verbal noun. It's the thing, but it's the type of thing it is a verbal thing. It's a happening, right? And so it is. I think events are helpful in most cases for verbs to think of the infinitive construct that way as a verbal noun. It's an event. It's a thing, but there is an action taking place in that event. But I just think it's helpful to think about infinitives in that way. And it makes sense to even talk about the infinitive absolute in that thing. It's saying something about the happening of the event, right? Even if it's adverbial. And so it's kind of like it's saying something about that one way or the other. Now, it probably doesn't hold for like statives, I would imagine. Emotions, there's probably some fine line in there. But I think a lot of the time it is helpful to think of it that way, if that's helpful for anybody out there. Just another maybe approach.
Yeah, excellent. I will say that when I was going through Cooch and Josberger's grammar, and they suggested the historical form of the infinitive construct as kutul, that I didn't quite go along with it. I didn't really like it. But it does have some explanatory power. This comes from their grammar on page 215. It says that the historical form is kutul. You should think of it as kutul. Also for infinitives. No, this is infinitives, but also for maybe the call imperative, tol, shmo, I don't know. But this is what they read as the historical form. And that they think that all the other forms could be derived from it through the shifting of accents, like the reduction of vowels, and the vowels become longer or shorter. So kutul, when it's joined to another word, the stress is over here, and this becomes like historic long, near, closed. So it's long, and this one reduces. So ktol. So kutul becomes ktol. So you would say ktol hamelech, the killing of the king. Ktol hamelech could be somebody killed the king, or the king killed somebody. Ktol hamelech could be either way, because the word that follows could be the subject or the object. And the same thing happens.
Genitives showing up in Hebrew. Woo!
Yeah, and that's true. That's true. So here we have a heavy syllable added, the suffix. And so this is the stress. This is near, it's closed and short, and then distant reduced. This is not a heavy accent. This represents the loss of stress. Kotlam would be originally kutulam, kutulam, and the second syllable was reduced. Kutulam became kotlam, kotlam. So they use this as like a mental recognition of where the sounds came from. So the killing of tol with when it's stressed, when it's connected with makaf. But this is the root that we should think of in terms of what is happening with the infinitive construct. So let's look at this specifically. So if we think of shamar, the root, the vocalization would be shumur, shumur. And with my, shumuri, shumuri became shomri, shomri. Shomri means my guarding or my keeping. It's the ing, and then it's got the my suffix on it, my keeping. Now, my keeping, this form, shomri, is normally the subject, like when I keep. So we would say beshomri. Beshomri means in my keeping, which means when I keep. If the ending instead of shomri was shomreni, which we talked about before, shomreni, the eni ending, the longer ending, is normally used for the object when we're dealing with infinitive constructs. So beshomreni is in the keeping of me. When somebody keeps me, when someone guards me, I'm the object. Okay, shomri and shomreni. Oh, I just talked about that. That's nice. Shumur, shumrueni, shumureni, shomreni. It's about the vowels dropping out. Okay. Shumurcha, shumurcha, shomrecha, shomrecha. Your keeping. Shumurchem, shomrechem. These are the real forms that we're looking at. Shomri, shomreni, shomrecha, shomrechem. Shumur just becomes shmor, shmor, lishmor, to keep, kishmor, according to the keeping of, bishmor, in the keeping of. We see these prefixes, lamed, kaf, and bet, added to the front of the infinitive construct. Okay. Infrequently, how are we doing as far as questions are concerned? Has anything been asked that I've not noticed? No. Okay.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Turn on the air conditioning. It's hot in here. Infrequently, the infinitive construct from before the subject is kittel or kattel instead of kotel. We've been talking about become o, shomrecha. But sometimes there are verbs, just like we have nouns that are like melech from malk and kelev from kalb. We also have ones like sefer from sifr and like kodesh from kudsh. So we have different forms that have roots. So there sometimes you will see an infinitive construct that will say with an e in the middle, like bitchech. Bitchech, you're trusting. You're trusting. Like in your trusting of the Lord, when you trust the Lord. Bitchech. The chech is feminine. And zakech. Zakech, you're crying out. Zakech, from lizok, to cry out. Okay. Whereas it is generally the case that the infinitive construct takes suffixes as if it were kotl, there are some instances of the other, as in the examples here, kittel and kattel. This is actually the standard form of third vav roots. Third vav roots, which drop the yod and add tav at the end. Hold on. Maybe I'm thinking weirdly here, which represents segulus resolution. Why did I write this and not give any examples? Third vav. Yivne, yiven. add tav. This is wrong. This is first vav.
Oh, okay.
They drop the yod because yod has replaced the vav in the root, and they add a tav at the end. Like yashav is the root first vav. I'll fix this real quick. Hold on. But this should be first vav. That will drive me nuts if I don't fix it. This is first. Okay. Okay, what's the point of this? They dropped the yod at the beginning, and it did give examples on the next screen. Examples on the next screen. They drop the yod at the beginning, and then they add tav. They add tav. So, first vav roots in the infinitive construct. We have yashav, he sat. Okay? The infinitive construct drops the yod, and it gives you shav or shev, and then it takes it adds tav, and it becomes shevet. Shevet. Shevet means sitting. Okay, it's from yashav. Shevet, so to sit is la shevet. To sit. I want to sit here. אני רוצה לשבת פה. לשבת. When you add the suffix, it's shivti. This is why I mentioned that it's. That's why I mentioned this is actually a standard form. That is kittel. Kittel is the standard form for a first yod. Okay, shivti, not shovti, but shivti. Yarad. Oops, I didn't put vowels on that either. Yarad means he went down. Drop the yod, and we get redet with the tav ending. Redet. You see the tav it's red, like go down, and taf. Redet, to go down. Laredet, to go down. Rideti, my going down. Okay? My going down. It means when I went down. Beriditi, when I went down. Yatsa, drop the yod, add tav, you get tset. It's short for tse'et. Tse'et, the vowel goes together, like be Elohim becomes Belohim. Tse'et becomes tset. Tset, going out, we say la tset. La tset, to go out. Tseti, my going out. So our going out of Egypt, tsetenu mimitzrayim. Tsetenu. This can have all of the suffixes. Tseti, tsetcha, tsetech, tsetot, tseta, tsetenu, tsetchem, tsetchen, tsetam, and tsetan. Can have all of the endings. Yada becomes da, with the taf becomes da'at, and la da'at, to know. Le da'ati, da'ati is my knowing. My knowing, da'ati. Okay. Examples of infinitive construct. This slide I added today because I thought there aren't enough examples given so far in the text. The infinitive constructs all over the biblical text. So here are some really nice examples. No questions or comments. Colton, you want to read the first one?
Sure. Vayomer Adonai Elohim lo tov hihyot ha'adam levado e'eseh lo ezer kenegdo. Sorry,
pretty common verse, right?
Yeah, I started out really fast and slowed down. I forgot.
Vayomer Adonai Elohim lo tov heyot ha'adam levado. This is a great expression to memorize. Lo tov heyot ha'adam levado. E'eseh lo ezer kenegdo. What's it mean?
The Lord God said, "It is not good the man's being alone. I will make for him an ezer kenegdo, a helper that is fit for him."
Yeah. Okay, so we would take heyot when you put a hey. Let's see, heyot. Hayot, to be, it's being. When you add lamed, it's not lehayot, but liyot.
Leo. That's
This
right.
liyot. Liyot, to be. So we would take this whole thing as the subject of that. We
Mhm.
say, the man being alone is not good. The man being alone is not good. The being of the man alone is not good. Yeah, so that's a good illustration of this, of the infinitive construct as the subject of a verb. The verb is told.
Mhm.
Okay, this is another one. Deuteronomy 6:7 says, V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvelechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha. Okay, so we get a middle
Another very
language.
well known verse.
Yeah, this is part of the Shema, part of
Yeah.
the daily prayers. So you shall repeat them to your children, or teach them faithfully to your children. You shall speak of them. Okay, you shall speak of them. Notice the use of the vekatal. This is shinanta, and the mem is them. Shinanta, shinantam. You shall repeat them to your children. Leshanen is to repeat for the purpose of memorizing. Beshivtecha beveitecha. Okay, beveitecha is in your house, in pause. Beveitcha. And shivtecha is, let's look at it. Shivtecha. Shivtecha. If we get rid of the suffix, we get shivt, which is a segolet problem, and we say shevet. Shevet is sitting. When you sit in your house, in your sitting in your home. So you shall repeat them to your children, teach them to your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit at home, when you sit in your home. Okay? Uvelechtecha vaderech, and when you go on the way, the word lechtecha, we're going to say lechtecha, okay, belechtecha, lechtecha, get rid of the suffix, lecht, we don't like lecht, so we make it lechet, okay, also segolet, lechet, lalechet is to go, infinitive. Belechtecha vaderech, in your going, on the way. Why does lechtecha, what is the root of lechtecha? Halach, right?
Halach. Sorry, I was muted. I was getting there.
Yeah, halach. For some reason, this verb halach behaves, this is what everyone says, all the teachers of Hebrew. Halach behaves like first yod, which means first vav. Not the first yod, really. First yod is yitav, not yelech. It behaves like a first vav, or a first yod verb. So it drops the beginning, and the imperative is lech, and the infinitive is lechet, just like every other first yod. So first vav. So like lashevet, yashav, the future is yeshev. You drop ye or ya, and you get shev as an infinitive and shevet as an infinitive. Shev is imperative and shevet is infinitive. Okay. Uv'shoch becha, this is that kotel ending, insert, kotel. Shoch becha, in your laying down, shachav, lay down. Uv'kumecha, kumcha, kumecha. Kumecha in pause, kumcha. Not in pause, it's kumcha. Kumcha, you're getting up. This is middle vav. Okay, all of these are infinitive constructs. Fun, fun, fun. Next one. It's a long one, but it's got a nice infinitive construct in there.
Sure. ויאמר כי אהיה עמך, וזה לך האות כי אנוכי שלחתיך בהוציאך את העם ממצרים. ta'avdun et ha'elohim al-har hazeh. Okay. And he said, if I go with you, uh, this will be the sign for you that
I think the key here is just and he said, "For I will be with you." I think it's continuous from the previous verse. For I will be with you, and this is the sign.
Oh, okay. That makes it makes sense. I just no context. It's a little
Yeah,
harder.
key is problematic. For I will be with you, and this is the
Yeah.
sign that I have sent you.
That I have sent. Yeah, that I have sent you. In your bringing out of the people from Egypt, you will serve you'll serve God upon this mountain. Sorry.
So Yatsa in the Hifil becomes Hotzi. He brought out as opposed to he came out. Hotzi. And Hotzi is also the infinitive construct. What's that? You're playing something. So Hotzi is also the infinitive construct.
Yeah, that was an accident. Sorry.
Behotziacha means in your bringing out the people. When you bring the people out. Behotziacha et ha'am. Yeah, great. We can, and I'm going to show the next one that we can change Behotziacha into other persons as well. So ve'amru al asher azvu et brit Adonai Elohei avotam asher karat imam behotzio otam me'eretz Mitzrayim. So we've got hotziacha and hotzio, his bringing out. And so they said, concerning which they left the covenant of the Lord. I don't know what the al asher is referring to because it would be from the previous verse. Concerning which they abandoned the covenant of the Lord, the God of their fathers, which he made with them in his taking out them. Okay, this is the subject, his taking them out from the land of Egypt. Yep. So hotziacha, hotzio, but both mean the same thing, just different reference. This is a synopsis of the kal verb. This is given at the end of the chapter because we are finished with the kal. So how about we zoom in? I won't be able to write on the screen because we're going to be zooming. And when you're zooming, you can't write on the screen. So let's look at the top. The first one is shamar. Okay, the perfect. The perfect, we have shamar. Maybe I can do a pointer. Laser pointer. How's this? Oh, no, it won't let me. I can't do both. I can't both zoom in and have a pointer or pen. All right, so shamar in the perfect becomes in the imperfect yishmor. In the jussive, remember the jussive is normally the same as the imperfect, yishmor. Imperative, drop the t, tishmor becomes shmor. Infinitive absolute, that is the form, shamor. And then the infinitive construct, shmor, the participle shomer. So hopefully that is familiar to you. That's a standard paradigm. You could drop down in each one with, for example, shamar. You could say shamarti, shamarta, and so on. With yishmor, we could say eshmor, tishmor, tishmeri. The jussive is only going to be third person. Generally, they think of the jussive as third person. But notice that the second person jussive is used for negative commands. For negative. There's no imperative in the second person. It's a second person jussive. So like shmor means do it, like keep shmor, but you say al tishmor. You shall not keep. Lo tishmor, al tishmor. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is kafbet dalet. It's the root normally kaved. Kaved, heavy. Yichbad, it will be heavy. Jussive, yichbad. Be heavy. Kvad. Kvad. I don't know why you would use that as jussive, but that's what it is. Kavod is also the noun for honor or glory, but it can be paired with a verb. Kavod kavadati. I was very heavy. I was surely heavy. Kavod kavadati. And kvod as lichbod, to be heavy. Infinitive construct. Okay, katan or katon, katonti. Yiktan, ektan. The jussive, yiktan. The imperative, ktan. Infinitive absolute, katon. And the infinitive construct, ton. Okay. I hope that this makes sense to you, that the synopsis is a review and not something new. Ahmad is the past tense. He stood or he didn't move. Yamod. Okay, I will stand or I will stay. E'emod. Infinitive ya'mod. That's a jussive also, not infinitive, but jussive. Yiktol and jussive. Amod, imperative, do it, stand. Amod, stand. Amod po, stand here. And this one, amod, is the infinitive absolute. Amod amadati. I stood for a long time, maybe. I really stood. I surely stood. And amod is an infinitive construct. La amod, to stand. Notice that there are often similarities between the imperative amod and the infinitive construct amod. It's not always the case because the imperative often has an a in the last syllable or the e, whereas the infinitive construct is basically always going to be o. And I haven't been including the participles. Kaved, katon, omed. Okay, you can go through all of the verbs as you wish in the summary. The summary is at the end of the lesson. I don't think it would be great for us to go through all of them, but I will, look at from gala, go into exile, yigle, because this is going to appear in our reading in a little bit when we finish the homework. So yigle, he will go into exile. Yigel, let him go into exile. Gle, go into exile. And galo. Galo can be written either with hey or with vav. Okay? And glot is to go into exile. Liglot. So gloti, my going into exile. And gole is the participle. Okay. I wanted to cover that one because it does appear in our reading in a little bit. So these are a bunch of other verbs. They're all included. They're all included in the book. Let's look at some middle week because that is kind of problematic for people. So we've got kof vav mem, which is kam, he got up. Hu kam, vayakom. The future yakum, he will get up. Yakom, let him get up. That's jussive. Yakum, future, yiktol, and yakom, jussive. Let him get up. Let him arise. Yakom. Kum is an infinitive, get up. Kom is the absolute, the infinitive absolute. Kom kamti, I have surely arisen. Kom kamti. And lakum, infinitive, kum, lakum, to get up. It's good to say the infinitive construct with le, with the lamed. Kum, lakum. And then the participle kam. Kam, it looks like the past tense. The same with bo, okay, ba, yavo, let him come, yavo, jussive. They're pronounced the same. Don't worry if they have a vav or not. Bo, imperative. Bo, infinitive absolute. Bo, infinitive construct, lavo, and ba. Notice with the middle vav, when it's a o vav, then it takes the same form in a lot of different things. Okay, shat. Shat means I have placed, I have put, like sam, I put. Yashit, ani ashit, I will put. Yashet, let him put. Yashet, like yasem, let him put. Imperative, sheet. Sheet otopo, put it here. Sheet. It's not really a word that we use. We say sim oto. It's this one here. Shev, they don't have sim. That's problematic. Shot, infinitive absolute. Shot, shatati. Sheet, also the infinitive construct. Lashit and shat. Okay, we're going to stop with that now because that's a bunch of mess and just go straight into the verbs. Any questions? My mom said she lost the chat. She got it back. I don't know. Any questions about the summary of verbs and why that might be important to go over on your own? Colton, do you think that's something useful? It's in the book. It's on page 260.
I mean, yes, it's definitely going to be useful, but at the end of the day, I don't know. Yes, it'll be useful to have it and to know it. It's at the end of the day, it's hard to keep it all lined out just by looking at a chart. You're going to have to learn how to. You need to learn how to use the language, or at least you need to be reading it so you see them more and more and more. Because the chart gives you all of it. It doesn't actually. It's not as helpful as just how do I want to say this? Yeah, it's not as the chart gives you everything all at once. Your brain can't take in all that information. How they're different, how they're alike, which ones are different, which ones are alike. And so actually getting exposed to them in the wild, so to speak, is what's going to be most helpful. But yes, it is helpful reference to have so that you can keep up with the weak parts, the weak verbs.
And the reason they're giving it is because this is the end of the kal.
Yeah.
We finished the kal, so it's good to pull back and get an overview, because honestly, how many lessons did you devote to this of the kal and that of the kal and that of the kal? This is where I started when I studied biblical Hebrew in college. This is where I started to enter the fog. Yeah. Because I couldn't get why every chapter we're just memorizing lists. You know?
Mm-hmm. He starts verbs in lesson 14, 13.
Yeah. Well, we did cover the katal of the piel and the hifil.
Yeah, and he does
one chapter each.
Stuff. Yeah, and he does some more to order stuff. So, I mean, but it's just looking briefly, it's about half of the material so far in the book is perfect. Call is the perfect. So the call.
Well, the
call, yeah, is the call. Yeah, sorry, I forgot what you were asking.
Which makes sense because I think kal is the most common verb stem. And once you've learned the kal, it's easier to learn all the rest.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, it's the most common, followed by hifil, I think.
All right, let's jump into it. The verb lahafoch, that's the infinitive construct on the end. Lahafoch means to turn something over, or to flip it over, to overturn it, like the money changers tables in the temple. Lahafoch, lafach et shulchanot.
It can also. Sorry, it can also mean to change something, like something changes, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when it's followed by the lamed of becoming.
Yeah.
Afachti le chazak, I became strong. Afachti le.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes the nifal is also used for that. The next one is yavesh. Yavesh means dry. It's an adjective, but it's also a verbal root. Livosh, to be dry, like lishon, to sleep. First, that's a real first yod. Hochiach, leochiach, to prove or to reprove. Okay? Lin or lun, that could be lalin or lalun, means to lodge or to sleep somewhere, to spend the night somewhere. It's the root of the word malon, which is an inn or a hotel. Malon, lalun. Okay? Lachad or lilkod, to trap, to capture. The word for trap is malkodet. Malkodet comes from lilkod. Paga. This one gives me trouble because in the Bible it means to meet or to hit by chance, by accident. And to me, that really overlaps with the meaning of pagash, lifgosh. lifgoa, and lifgosh. In modern Hebrew, lifgoa is used almost exclusively for hurting somebody. Lifgoa bemishu, to hurt someone.
In Biblingo, I think we have this as like to like meet, like there is this like kind of negative connotation with it that we is the way that we gloss it too.
Yeah.
I don't remember, like meet hostility
Like
or something like that.
like evil meets you. Like it
Yeah.
means that calamity or
Like hostility meets you or something like that, I think is how we do it. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my
but you should compare it in your favorite dictionary to the word lifgosh, pagash,
head.
to meet, and you'll see that it's an interesting overlap. But I don't like paga in the Bible. I like in modern Hebrew lifgoa, to hurt. Anyway, lifdot. Lifdot is to redeem or to ransom. God is called hapodeno, the one who ransoms us. Podeh is a ransomer. There is another word that is used for redeeming, and that is ga'al. Ga'al. And that's related to ge'ula, redemption, like salvation.
Goel
So
Hadam.
ge'ula.
Goel Hadam.
Yes, the kinsman redeemer. Parat or lifrot means to break in or to breach. Not sure why it says increase. Maybe increase in that it breaks in and spreads.
Yes, I think that's the right idea.
To spread out is lifros. This is used in the prayers to say pores sukat shlomecha. You spread out the tent of your peace or your well-being. Sukkah isn't really a tent; it's like a hut or something like that. But whatever.
Yeah,
Salah.
you know how long, and it's because of this book that Paratz and Parash took me to get straight, because one was shatter and the other one Paras, yeah, and like just to get them straight, because one was like to shatter, so like you broke it into pieces. And so the increase and that spread out and the spread out thing, they were so close semantically in my mind that I couldn't separate the words out. I to this day get them confused because they
sound similar. Poets.
Yeah, and
I never made a connection like that.
Yeah, but because he introduced them in this lesson together, it drove me crazy.
But we also have parash.
Yeah,
parash means to quit. Like like you leave, you quit, like you maybe go to pension, like you quit your job. Parash. That's weird. I never made these connections. Tzalah is used in for something like titzlach darkecha. May your way prosper or succeed. Itzliach can be both causative, you make something to succeed, or it has success, like hu hitzliach, he was successful. The overlap between the kal, which is labeled with G, kal, and the hifil is very close. Darko itzliach or darko tzalcha. I think it's tzalcha, but I don't know why. I don't know why there's kal and hifil of these two words. Like it's the same root. I don't know why they have the same, close to the same meaning. Kara likuroa. Likuroa is to tear. I think of it in terms of when somebody dies, you tear your clothes. Korea, but it's also you tearing paper. It's ripping or to tear. Okay. A tear is a noun. A tear, like you have a tear in your clothes, is kera. It's a segul. It's kera. Rafa, to be healed. Lirpo. It's almost like a passive sense. To be healed. It also appears in the nifal. Nirpa lanu. Nirpa. It was healed.
I really hate that he's introducing two different words from the same root, multiples of them. Like that's such a bad.
He gives root, and then he says, in the kal it means this, in the pl it means this, but he doesn't tell you what the pl looks like.
Yeah, it's still it's so dumb. Like
I hate how he presents verbs.
yeah,
That's why I put this in the
yeah.
presentation.
Well, like so, for what it's worth, take this for what it is. Jennifer Noonan in her SLA Insights thing, she talked about the fact that like that's the exact thing you don't want to do because it confuses students. And like she talked about these because they're literally like word group different stem related. You don't want to do that. You also don't want to give like opposites in the same stuff like hot and cold because they might memorize, oh, hot and cold are these two words, but they'll confuse which one's which. And because
I would think that's thematic vocabulary, that it would be a good idea.
No, well, there's ways to do themes. There's ways to do themes, so you can have like following like a logical sequence, but only like one type, and then introducing it later. You just don't want them to be introduced to them right beside
like
each
overlapping.
other. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, and that's the exact word that she uses. You don't want overlapping semantic things. You can do themes in like one session.
Right.
Yeah. It's just something that she pointed out, and there's she talks about the research behind it and stuff. But
some of the infinitives I'm giving here are words that I've never seen before, like lirpo. I've never seen lirpo.
Yeah.
But lirape is for sure used to heal. Yeah. Lirpo, to be healed. Never heard of the infinitive being used there. Ratza is to be pleased. We had it in the first slide where he's saying, Yihiyu l'ratzon ibnei fi v'hegyon libi lefanecha. Ratzon is pleasure. So l'ratzon, for pleasure. Yihiyu l'ratzon. Okay, l'ratzon, to pleasure. Means may it be pleasing, may they be for pleasure. In modern Hebrew, to be pleased, the word lirtzot means to want. I want something. But that's not the biblical meaning. The modern meaning is want. The biblical meaning is to be pleased. So we pray, Ritzena vimnuchatenu, be pleased in our rest. This is in the prayer book. Ratzach is to murder or to assassinate, to kill, to slay. It's always with a negative intention. It's not to kill accidentally. So murder is called retzach. And since we mentioned it in the previous, retzach means murder. Since we mentioned it in the previous session, the idea of genocide is retzach am, the murder of a people. Retzach am. Just so you are aware. All right, these two words mean exactly the same thing as far as I can tell. I don't know any difference. Litzchok and litzchok. Both mean to laugh.
In modern are definitely Hebrew, just like spelling derivations.
Yes, so in modern Hebrew, we went with tzadi for litzchok. And then in the PL, you have litzachek and litzachek to mean to play or to make fun of. You make a laugh of somebody. So I put them together like this, where the kal and the PL go together. But I don't know what the difference is. Yitzchak, Yitzchak, Yisachek, Yitzachek. It's the same thing. I don't know. I don't know why you put them all in. But we will see the name of Isaac is Yitzchak. It's the name of Isaac, the patriarch. That's not Yitzchak. But we're going to see in our reading today that we have Yitzchak also as the name of Isaac. So Yitzchak and Yitzchak. Lashkim. Lashkim is to get up early, to do something early. Lashkim baboker, lashkim lakum. It's doing something early in the morning. Tafas, litpos. Litpos is to catch or grab something. So if I throw something to you, I say tfos, tfos, catch, because I'm throwing it to you. I say tfos. Or I can say tfos oto, grab him, seize him. Okay. All right. Tonight we are doing the session that we would normally do on Thursday. So we're going to be covering our homework for last week. And we are not going to be doing it on Thursday, so don't show up on Thursday. On Monday, we'll be continuing David's story. We got to 1 Samuel 28. Wow, I want to say verse 15. We got a lot of reading done today. We're going to be teaching through lesson 24, which gets us even closer to our. Why did I write that? I don't know. I guess I didn't see that. Which gets us closer to the end of the book, which is 30. We're going to be covering 24, so we're really getting close. Homework lesson next week is on. So forget this homework for 22. We're doing homework for 22 tonight. I think that this was what I wrote for last week, and I didn't correct it, so please forget that. Lesson 24 is dealing with binyan PL in the all of the non-katal forms, like the yiktol, the jussive, the cohortative, imperative. All of those forms are already covered, including the infinitives, and so it should be pretty intense. But that's what he does for his book. He just covers the entire binyan in one chapter. Maybe that's insane. You think that's insane? I feel like it's insane. Don't know.
Yeah, maybe a little. It's okay. We never said we weren't, so.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I'm not insane, but, I look at the synopsis of the verb and I think, ooh, that's fun. This is the kind of thing that I like. So I'm a weirdo. All right, we're going to look at the exercise from last week, exercise 22, and go through the homework. All right, so naton is from natan. It's the infinitive absolute, a-o. The a-o combination, infinitive absolute, it means giving in some way, maybe putting. You're going to do number 2? Mm-hmm.
Yes, sorry. Kano.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Kana. And it is sorry.
Uh-oh.
Okay, it is absolute, infinitive absolute.
Yeah, it could be just like this, kano. Like the hey or the vav. These are alternatives for the third hey.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It just didn't feel good.
Mm-hmm. We have, in English you say, once upon a time, there was blah, 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 right? Once upon a time. To say this in Hebrew, you use infinitive absolute. You say, hayo, haya. Hayo, haya.
Interesting.
Once upon a time, there was a boy, Yeled Chacham, a smart boy. This is how you'd start a fairy tale. Hayo haya Yeled Chacham betoch hayar, in the midst of the forest, whatever. Hayo haya.
And kana is like buy, acquire.
Buying, acquiring. Could also be create, but most of the time buy. Like God is konenu, he's our creator. All right. Yitencha is from the cha is you. So we've got yiten. Yiten means he will put, or he will make, he will make you. He will set you. He will appoint you. It's from Natan. Sorry. Natan. All right, number 4.
It's also from Natan, and it's the Nehu, and it is the imperative singular ten oto. And so give him,
put him, set him, appoint him. Yeah, tenem. Okay, it's 10 otam. 10 otam. Set them, appoint them, give them.
And then shemarcha.
Shmocha. No?
Wow.
Is that right? Shmocha? It's not shomrecha? Let me check.
I was reading it as I was reading it differently, I think.
Yeah, it says shmocha. Okay.
Okay. I was sorry. What was the actual topic for this lesson?
It says imperative, jussive. It's imperative and imperfect with suffixes. Shomreni, keep me.
Okay. Okay.
Shmocha, keep you, keep yourself.
Shmorcha. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. You know how I was reading it was I was reading it as Shamar Otcha. That's how I was reading it.
Shmarcha. Shmarcha. It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Shmarcha. He kept you.
Yeah. That's how I was reading it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
Shmarcha. Good. Shomreni, because it does feel weird to say shmocha, keep yourself.
Yeah.
That feels weird. Shomreni, keep me. It's shamar, shmor oti, shomreni. Shmor oti, keep me.
Yeah. Shomro. And it is his keeping.
That's what it looks like because it's an infinitive construct. His keeping. That's true, but this is an imperative.
Oh darn. Okay. Shomro. So
Shomro.
so it's keep him.
Keep him. Shmor oto.
Again, I would think that'd be like Shemarehu or something.
Shomrehu.
Shomre. Yeah, with the A. Shomrehu.
Shomrehu. It's the same.
Oh.
Yivnehu. He will build him, or he will build it. It's bana. Bana. He built. Bana. Yivne.
Yiknehu. So this is from Kana again. It's in the Yiktol. This is he will build it.
Not build.
He will buy it. Sorry.
He will buy it, or let him buy it. Yeah. Evnena. This is the egurgic noon. Egurgic.
Energic. Energy. Yeah.
Energicum.
Yeah, like energy. Energic.
Others egergicum. Energicum. Energic. Energic noon. I hate these words. Evne ota. Evne ota evnenna. I will build her. I will build it. It's a feminine thing.
Yasimani. This is from Yasim. So this is Yasim Oti. And so he will set me.
He will set me. He will put me. Tishmerem. Tishmerem. You, singular, will keep them. Tishmerem. You will keep them.
Yeah. Shemaini. He heard me.
Not he heard.
He.
See again. Shma'eni is technically an imperative. Hear me. Shma'eni. When you have the guttural here,
it
wants instead of shom. Shom.
Yeah, I'm vibing with you. Yeah, hear me.
Yeah.
The giveaway for me is the eval, right?
But it looks. It looks the same. Shma'eni. He heard me.
It'd be Shema'ani, wouldn't it? Shema'ani, if it was he heard me, because it's in the perfect.
Yes, it would be. It would be. You're right. Shma'ani.
That's what I'm saying. The eval's the thing that should have been the giveaway.
You're right. Yes. Sorry. Yach gereha. Yach gereha is yachgor. Hagar is to bind the waist. To put a
gird. Gird is the way it's usually translated.
To put on a belt.
Yeah.
Tie something around your waist, and he did it to her. Like he will do it to her. Hu yachgereha, he will bind her or gird her waist. Yeah. I don't like that either. Okay.
It's a bad word.
All right. This is Proverbs. We have 3 reading sections from this chapter.
Okay. Wow. This one's 6 verses. How long are the other 2 if you don't? Wait,
longer.
What page are we on? What page are we on?
Longer. We're not on a page anymore. I want to point out a couple of verbs when we get to them because there's okay. Number one says Shim'u vanim musar av. This is from Proverbs chapter 4. If it sounds familiar, Shim'u vanim musar av. Listen, boys, or listen, sons, or hear, O sons, the discipline of or instruction of a father. A father's instruction. Musar is used also for ethics or discipline. V'akshivu lada'at bina. And listen. Lakshiv is to listen. If somebody is attentive or they listen well, they're a good listener, you call them kashuv. Kashuv is somebody who listens well, and ikshiv, he listened. Hikshiv. So hakshivu ladat bina. So listen or pay attention to know understanding. Right. So he says you need to listen so that you will understand, so that you will know understanding. Verse 2.
כי לכך טוב נתתי לכם, תורתי אל תעזובו, sorry.
Torati al ta'zovu.
Yeah, for lekach tov.
Lekach tov natati lachem. Lekach is normally a lesson, something that you've learned.
Okay, for a good lesson I have given to him. My instruction
But to you.
to you. That's what I said. I've given to you. My instruction you shall not abandon.
Or don't abandon. Don't abandon my instruction, my Torah.
Like you said, there's no negative imperatives.
Yeah. I'm going to look for lekach because this connects here, lekach tov and torati, a good lesson, and the Torah, my instruction, right? It connects them. And so lekach is used sometimes, at least for us, to mean the Torah. And let's see. I want to see if there's a verb. לב חכם ישכיל פיהו, ועל שפתיו יוסיף לקח. It doesn't matter. We don't have a lot of time. Never mind. Okay. Anyway, lekach tov and the Torah are associated with each other. כי בן הייתי לאבי, I was a son to my father. רך ויחיד לפני אמי. רך is like soft, and yachid is almost like precious. It means that only one, but it means that you're precious. Soft and precious before my mother. Okay, I was a father to my son, soft and precious before my mother. I don't know if yachid is going to be translated as precious, but that's kind of how I would understand it. Let's see. For I was a son to my father, tender and an only one in the sight of my mother. That's a JPS. He says, when I was a son to my father and my mother's favorite, tender and my mother's favorite. Okay, so it's looking at him as if he were an only child.
Yeah.
Vayorenu.
Yeah, I was yawning, my bad. Vayorenu vayomer li yitmok devarai libecha. Shmor mitzvotai vechye.
And the cheye is imperative, right?
Yeah. He taught me.
Anybody who's reading along should be looking at the end of the book for helps with the vocabulary, with the structures. And you should have read, I hope you read ahead of time to get the vocabulary. So
yeah. He taught me, and he said to me,
No, this is Joseph.
Right, but I just don't know what tamoch is.
Litmoch is to give support.
Okay.
Normally.
Let my words give aid your heart. Support
Let
your
your
heart.
heart support my words, I think. Let your heart hold fast my words. That's how the NRSV
Hold
says it.
fast. Okay.
Yitmoch is singular and dvara is plural. So dvara is the object. Libecha is singular, it's a subject. Let your heart take fast my words, or let your heart support, like hold my words.
No, that's fine. It's part of it. Problem is just not knowing the word. Shmor mitzvotai. Okay. Keep my commands and live.
Yeah, keep my commands and live. Knei chochma, knei vina. Acquire wisdom, acquire understanding. These are imperatives. Knei chochma, knei vina. Al tishkach, do not forget. Ve'al tet is nata, to turn aside. Al tet, it's tite. Tite is the future. Tite from nata.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Stretch out, isn't it?
tendency or turning aside.
Or like a stretching,
the same word is used for stretching out, but this is like turning.
Yeah.
Like I think I mentioned before, nitiya minit is your sexual orientation. It's
right.
It's your tendency.
Right.
Nitiya is your tendency.
Just for clarification, is it like thought to be a separate root that has the same letters, or is it the
I would
same?
imagine that is the case. Yes, that
Okay.
Notei Shamayim is the one who stretches out the heavens, but like Notei Atzida is turning to the side, and it's a different meaning. So to reach out, spread out like a tent, or also your arm. You can spread your arm out like Yad Netiya. To bow down low, to stretch out or become long.
Zeroa Netui.
Netuya.
Yeah, Zeroa Natuya.
But where is it to turn aside? Turn aside. It's the same root, different meaning.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, to turn to the right or to the left and whatever. Yeah. So nitiya is a tendency, like it leans in that direction. Okay, so ve'al tet me'imrei fi. Al tet me'imrei fi, do not turn aside from the sayings of my mouth. Imre fi, emir, saying. Okay, number 6.
Al ta'azveha tishmerecha, sorry.
Tishmereka. That's a energic noon.
Yeah.
So why is it feminine? Ta'azveha, what's the ha?
It's referring to, thank you, chokhmah. I had something for it.
It's wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom is important in the book of Proverbs, obviously.
Yeah.
Al ta'azveha v'tishmereka.
Yeah. Ehaveha v'titreecha. Sorry. Titreka. Sorry.
That energic noon is a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Well, it's deceiving too, because I expect it to be I know that the comments is down there, and I see that and I just assume it's like my brain just turns it into a dagesh, even though it's clearly not what it is. Anyway, do not abandon it and keep it.
Oh, the tishmo is actually it will keep you.
Oh, yeah.
Do not abandon it, and it will keep you.
Yeah, that
it will
makes sense.
protect you. That is wisdom.
That makes good sense. Yeah. I
Ehaveha, love
yeah,
it. Love
eh,
it. Wisdom again.
yeah, ehaveha.
And it
And
will natsau.
keep you.
It will keep you. Yeah.
Protect you.
So
Yeah.
tishmereka and titzreka are the same meaning. It will keep you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great. All right. This is Amos, the book of Amos.
Amos.
7:10 through 17. Look at that. When I was in second year Hebrew in college, we translated the book of Amos. It was
What?
it was
Where
an
does he?
important
Where
book.
does he have this reading listed? In 22.
Exercise 22, B.2.
B.2. Okay.
Unless I messed it up again. I don't think I did.
That's not what
Remember that
mine
one
said.
time that I was going all the way through 19 and
Yeah.
all right, so if you look on page 253 at the bottom, it's translate the following with the help of the dictionary. Amos 7:10 to 12 or 10 to 17.
I see. Yes.
Mhm.
I was in the wrong. Listen, that was my fault.
Mm.
Okay.
And then there's section C, which is 1 Kings 3:16 to 28.
28. All right. Yeah.
I was telling Jonathan earlier because I remember when we talked about doing this grammar book, he's like, "Oh, there's not enough reading in it." I'm like, "Yes, there's a lot actually."
Yeah. For first year students.
Nancy,
Oh, yeah.
hello. Nancy, howdy. You say new to the channel. What's the name of the textbook? Let me make myself big. Nashal Shodi. A Grammar for Biblical Hebrew, revised edition by Seow. It's by Abingdon Press, and it's from 1995. If you want to go ahead and get you a copy of that. Michael has said it's a Grammar for Biblical Hebrew, revised edition by Seow. Welcome to the channel. Indeed, welcome, and hope that it's not too far over your head if it's over your head at all. But welcome. We do Hebrew reading at 5 o'clock Eastern, and then grammar at 6 o'clock, and go until we need to. All right. So this is Amos chapter 7. Vayishlach Amatzia Kohen Beit El El Yarovam Melech Yisrael lemor Kashar Alecha Amos.
You're not sharing your screen.
Oh, sorry. Look at me not sharing my screen. All right, I'll start over. Okay. So, וישלח אמציה, כהן בית אל, אל ירבעם מלך ישראל לאמור, קשר עליך עמוס, בקרב בית ישראל, לא תוכל הארץ להכיל את כל דבריו. Okay, so Amatzia, this is the priest, Amatzia, which means like God is strong, by the way. It's like Chizkiyahu, like Hezekiah. Chizkiah and Amatzia, they have the same meaning, because Amatz and Chazak are the same. Here, Amatzia sent, he is the priest of Bethel, Beit El. He sent to Yarovam, the king of Israel, saying, when they say he sent to him saying, he means he sent a message. He sent messengers to him saying, the name of the king is Yarovam. Yarovam. Okay, he said, Kashar alecha Amos bekerev Beit Yisrael. To me, kashar means to tie or bind. I guess he's saying that Amos has bound you, but I'm not sure. Kind of, it's funny to me. Let's see. This is Amos 7:10. I should have gone over this too. Amos has conspired against you. Okay, so kashar normally means to bind or to tie, but it means in this case that he's tied people together against him. He's made a conspiracy by binding people together in the midst of the house of Israel. Okay, Lo tuchal haaretz, the earth, the land where you live, the land is not able lachil et kol dvarav, to contain all of his words. What does it say instead of contain?
The book glosses it as to endure.
to endure. We say in Israel, like if you start dating somebody and you have a lot of emotional baggage, we say that he or she cannot laachil oti. Laachil oti. He can't contain me. He can't accept everything that's wrong with me. So in this case, the earth, the land, is not able to deal with all of these things that he has to say. He has so many things to say that the earth can't, or the land, Eretz Israel, the land cannot accept it. It can't deal with it. It's too much.
Yeah.
And so leachil, to contain, becomes the noun mechil, container. Mechil, container, like a container of gasoline. Mechil delek. It contains gas. All right, number 11.
Kiko mar amos. Bachar yamut.
Instead of Ko amar Adonai,
Yeah.
Ko amar Amos.
Bacherev yamud yaravam.
Yeah. So this is an example of his words that the earth just cannot accept, right? It cannot contain these words.
V'Yisrael gola yigle me'a
What's the pronunciation of that one?
galo
Galo
yigle.
yigle.
What did I say? Gola.
You said gola.
Yeah. Oops.
Gola is also a word. Gola is the same as galut.
It's the noun,
exile.
right? It's the noun. Galo yigle me'a admato. For thus said Amos, by the sword Jeroboam shall die. Yeah. And sorry, my brain was processing if it was a call or a hofal.
This is Yamut.
In Umat. Yeah, it switches them around. Yeah, I thought it was like my brain was just doing a little flippy flop. In Israel shall certainly be exiled from upon its land.
Yeah. So he's going to die, and Israel's going to go into exile, right? So this is pulling focus in two ways. Number one is fronting having the Yisrael as opposed to Yerovam, and also putting emphasis on the verb galo yigle.
Yeah, and in earlier bacherev, putting the instrument by which it would happen.
Bacherev yamut. Yes. Because the normal unmarked word order would be Yarovam Yamut Bacherev. But we've got Bacherev Yamut Yarovam. Good. Number 12. Vayomer Amatzia El Amos. Okay. Now notice that this space is intentional. That's in the manuscripts. There's space. Amatzia said to Amos. Okay. He said to Amos. Jose. This is a direct address. Oh, seer. It might be interesting because there's another word for a seer, someone who has a vision. It's ro'eh.
Ro'eh.
Ro'eh and Jose are both visionaries, people who have visions. They see things. I think that Jose is the later term and ro'eh is the earlier term. I think. And then even later, it became Navi.
Yeah.
Lech, go, lech, brach lecha. Run away. Okay, the lecha, to yourself, doesn't really mean to yourself. It's run away for yourself, for your own advantage. Run away. El Eretz Yehuda, to the land of Judah. Because right now he's in Israel. And he tells him, run away to Judah. Ve'echol sham lechem. Ve'echol, this is imperative. Echol. The O here is because of the makaf. Ve'echol sham lechem, eat bread there. V'sham tinave. Now tinave, it's using the yiktol as an imperative. This is nifal. Tinave. So go eat bread in Judah and prophesy there. Okay, don't bother us with your prophecy. Go to Judah. Drive them nuts. Leave us alone. Verse 13.
Uveit el lo tosif od lehinabe Lahinave.
Okay, I want to
Ki-
stop you just for a second because we are missing a preposition here. Uveit el would be the ideal, like and in Bethel, but we just have uveit el. So we could take it and as for Bethel, or with regard to Bethel.
In Bethel, no longer prophesy here.
Yeah.
Prophesy.
Don't prophesy here anymore.
Yeah. Ki
Mhm.
mikdash melech hu uvet mamlacha hu. For mikdash, I should know that word. The mikdash of the king.
So it is the king's or a royal temple,
Okay. Yeah.
a royal sanctuary.
Yeah. And a house of the kingdom is it.
Because it's a royal sanctuary
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
a royal home,
Yep.
like, where the king lives. All right. Vaya'an Amos. Okay, Amos answered. Let's see if there are any questions. I don't know what's going on in the world of out there. Laila Tov Mama. Okay, so Vaya'an Amos. Ya'an is from Anna. He answered. Vaya'an Amos. Vayomer el Amatzia. And he said to Amatzia, Lo navi anochi. This verse is actually quoted a lot.
Yep.
But when I read this passage, it gave me a different perspective on it. Lo navi anochi. Notice the stress on all of these anochi. It's anochi. Lo navi anochi. I am not a prophet. That is not what it means. It means I wasn't a prophet. Now, if you read the context, it means I wasn't a prophet. Velo ven navi anochi. And I was not the son of a prophet. Ki voker anochi. But I was a cowboy. I was a shepherd of cows. I was a cowman.
Sorry.
Voles shikmim. And a shearer of, I guess this is, what kind of tree? What kind of tree is that? There's a tree. It's a shearer, a person who cuts back the
Do you know
branches so that
do you know what a Shechem means by any chance? The city? Do you happen to know that?
It's not Shechem, it's Shechem. Shechem. I don't know what it means.
Okay, me neither. Hold on, I'm looking it up. Give me a
second. Sycamore. Sycamore trees.
A species of fig.
Yeah, so he's not saying I am not a prophet. He's saying I wasn't a prophet. I was a shepherd and a person who took care of trees. But then something happened, and that's what verse 15 says. So people misread 14. I am not a prophet, nor the son of a prophet. But he means I wasn't a prophet. I wasn't the son of a prophet. I didn't belong to this group of people. But something happened, and that is verse 15.
Basically saying, I really didn't want to do this. I didn't want to be here.
I didn't go and study prophecy and whatever, but this happened. So what happened? Verse 15.
Vayikacheni Adonai me'acharei hatzon vayomer Eli Adonai. Sorry, vayomer Eli Adonai lech hinabe el ami Yisrael.
There you go.
And the Lord took me, or I was taken by the Lord. No, what?
He took me.
He took me. Yes.
It's
okay.
The lamed has been assimilated.
Yeah. Sorry.
I
saw you did see what I did. I saw the yikatel form and did the thing in my head. Yeah. The Lord took me from my sheep, from after my sheep, from tending to my sheep, my flocks rather. Sorry. And he said to me, and the Lord said to me, "Go prophesy to my people Israel."
And so it's almost like boker, which we take as a cowboy today. It really is like he's maybe riding a horse behind the flock. They didn't have horses. And they did have horses. Maybe he did have a horse. Because boker, we take as somebody who rides a horse and leads sheep. He works on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
So he was boker anochi.
Oh, he's like a farm. Okay, I got you.
A herdsman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then God took me from behind the flock, like I was driving flocks,
Yeah.
And he said to me, go prophesy to my people. All right. Verse 16, Ve'ata shma dvar Adonai. And now hear the word of the Lord. Ata omer lo tinave al Yisrael ve'lo tatif al Beit Yitzchak. Yitzchak, see? Not Yitzchak, but Yitzchak. Okay, so, and now hear the word of the Lord, the word of Yahweh. You are saying, Ata omer. Okay, this is what you say. Lo tinave, you shall not prophesy al Israel, concerning Israel. Velo tatif, you're going to love that word, al Beit Yitzchak, you shall not preach against the house of Isaac. What we call a preacher, a person who preaches, is matif. Matif is someone who preaches. Al tatefli, don't preach me. Al tatif elai, don't preach to me. This is used until today. Latif, to preach.
What is it from Tuf?
It looks like nun tet.
I know, but I looked it up under that and it did not come up.
Huh. I can only say what it looks like. I'm not. Yeah. I mean, I know Latif, but I've never.
What verse is this? Amos 7.
This is verse 16. Nataf. It says Nataf.
Why is it not coming up in my?
In the Hifil, to cause to drip, to drivel or foam at the mouth, meaning prophesy ecstatically. That's funny. It means to foam at the mouth, but that's what we say when people are preaching.
It's not coming up in DCH at all for me.
Oh, does it not? Let's see.
Yeah.
Dictionary of Classical Hebrew. Not tough.
Why? Hold on. Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry. Dumb thing.
See, there it is. In DCH, it says to preach, teach, or prophesy.
Yeah, I got you. My bad. I find it funny that the idea that these guys just spit when they spit when they were preaching. Like, that's what I'm imagining, right? But also the thing that I was doing was I was using the wrong T sound.
It's tit. Yeah.
It's like, oops, my bad.
So we should notice that I mentioned in the grammar that Yitzchak is also written as Yitzchak, meaning Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Yitzchak, the house of Isaac. Mm-hmm. Verse 17.
All right. Lachen kol Adonai.
Lachen.
That's what I said. Lachen kol Adonai. Ishtecha ba'ir tizne. Uvanecha uvinotecha b'cherev yipolu. Va'admato b'chevel.
Va'admatecha.
Oh, sorry. Va'admatecha b'chevel techulak.
And techulak is future, like
it's like to
imperfect pual.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It will be divided up.
Yeah, will be apportioned. Sure. Yeah. Vata al adama tamea tamut. Oh my God. The Yisrael gola yigle mea admato. Okay. Sorry. I just forgot how to read last hour. Yeah. Therefore, this says the Lord. Your wife will be a harlot in the city.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And your wife will fornicate in the city.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you. Yes, thank you for giving me a better word. And your sons and your daughters, they will fall by the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Your land in the will be apportioned in the will be
Let's
divided
take
in.
it like a dividing line. Like
Okay.
your land will be divided up by a cable, kind of
Okay.
like it's drawn borders around it.
Okay. In you
Al adamat me'at amut.
you will die upon an unclean land.
Yes.
And Israel will certainly go into exile from its land.
Hmm. When it says that he'll die on an impure land or an unclean land, it
Yeah.
means that he won't die in Israel. He'll die
In
outside.
Israel. Yep. Yep. Yep.
And then we have one more reading section. Oh my
Lord have
God.
mercy. Why?
I know. Because reading Hebrew is a good idea. We still have
It
6 people watching, so
I
that's not
know.
bad.
I have to go in 22 minutes no matter what, though. I have another meeting
Let's
at
push
8.
22
All right.
minutes. As
All right.
tavona, okay, the tavona, we learned actually in the grammar book, tivoenna.
Mm-hmm.
Tivoenna, tavona. And I wrote that tavona is the form that I know, tavona. But the book says tivoenna.
We
And I
accept
pointed that
both.
out.
We accept both at
Yes.
Biblingo.
Yes. So as tavona, shtaim nashim means shtei nashim, 2 women. Shtaim nashim zonot el hamelech. Okay, so now we just said that Yerovam's wife would become a prostitute. She would fornicate in the city. Now we're saying that 2 women prostitutes would come to the king. Would come. Probably the idea is that he's offering a mikre. He's offering a story. So we're saying tavona. Vata'amodna lefanav, and they stood before him. Ta'amodna, they stood.
I,
Vata'amodna lefanav,
yeah, real quickly, the Oz plus imperfect is debated how to understand that construction. Oz plus the Yictol.
because that's probably where we got vata'avona. Vata'avona, maybe. Anyway,
Maybe.
17.
ותאמר האישה האחת בידוני, אני והאישה הזאת יושבות בבית אחד, ואלה עמה בבית. The one woman said,
Va'iled. Va'iled. Now, this was Jonathan had an
oh,
issue earlier. He said va'yelech. He said va'iled. So
"Va'eled ima."
va'iled is I gave birth.
Yeah, "Va'eled ima babait."
Mhm.
Sorry, did I do it too?
You said va'ilech.
Oh, okay, got you. Um, the first woman said, "Me, my lord," to me, my
Be Adoni is a formulaic expression for an oath. She's saying, I'm my
oh
lord, like by
by
my
by
lord,
my
by
yeah by my okay by me, oh Lord, I I and this woman were dwelling in the house, each of us in
we're
one
both
house.
invited from.
Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah, I
right.
got
We
you.
live together in a house.
Yeah,
This woman and
and
I live together.
right, and I bore with her in the house. I bore a child with
Yeah,
her in the house. Okay.
yeah. Number 18. Vayhi bayom hashlishi lelideti vateled gam haisha hazot. Okay, so it was on the 3rd day to my birthing, to my giving birth, that she gave birth, also this woman. Okay, so the 3rd day after I gave birth to my baby, this woman also gave birth. ואנחנו יחדיו אין זר איתנו בבית. And we are together, אנחנו יחדיו, ואין זר, there's no stranger or other person with us in the house. Okay, there's no one else with us in the house. זולתי, שתיים אנחנו בבית. Only the 2 of us are in the house. It's just us 2. Nobody else lives with us. I don't know why they would, in that society, be two pregnant women living in a house together with no husbands. That's an interesting situation.
Yeah. I'm curious. Right. Yeah.
All right, verse 19.
Sure. וימות בן האישה הזאת לילה, אשר שוכבה עליו.
Shachva.
שכבה, sorry.
Mm.
Uh,
This is a lot of material, a lot of reading tonight.
yeah. I'm fading fast. I get to 2.5 hours and I'm like, I'm ready to tap. And he and the son of this woman died in the night. Which she
Ashel
when
could be
she
either
was
because she laid upon him or when she laid upon him.
when
which
she
is
laid
the
upon
right
him.
side there.
Yeah.
He died when she laid upon him. Yeah. ותקום בתוך הלילה ותיקח את בני מאצלי ואמתך ישנה ותשכיבהו בחיקה ואת בנה המת השכיבה בחיקי. Okay. ותקום בתוך הלילה means she got up in the night, in the middle of the night. ותיקח את בני מאצלי, and she took my son from with me. He was beside me and she took him. ואמתך ישנה, and your servant girl is sleeping. When you say your servant, your slave, you're talking about yourself. And I was sleeping. ותשכיבהו, and she laid him down, בחיקה, in her bosom. ואת בנה המת, and her dead boy, her dead son, השכיבה בחיקי. She laid down in my bosom. So she stole my kid in the middle of the night, right? All right.
Yeah.
Verse 21.
ואקום בבוקר.
ויקום בבוקר.
Okay, I was just checking because that's not where I expected the accent to be. All right. ויקום בבוקר להניק את בני והנה מת. ואתבונן אליו בבוקר, והנה לא היה בני אשר ילדתי. And I arose in the morning to nurse my son, and behold, he's dead. And
והתבונן אליו בבוקר.
I don't know what bean does in the Hithpael.
In this case, it's I looked at him.
Okay.
I looked at him. I was, trying to understand him, right?
Yeah.
I looked at him.
I looked at him in the morning, and behold, it was not my son which I had bore.
Yeah. Verse 22. ותאמר האישה האחרת, לא, כי בני החי ובנך מת. וזאת אומרת לא, כי בנך מת ובני החי. ותדברנה לפני המלך. Okay, so the woman, the other woman said, האישה האחרת said, לא, no, כי בני החי, because my son is the one that's alive, ובנך מת, and your son is the dead one. וזאת אומרת, לא, and the other one says, she says, no, כי בנך המת, your son is the dead one, ובני החי. Why do we have hechai and hachai? Remember that? Hachai, echai.
Because the one in pause, because it has a comment, it has to take the he, the segel. The other one's
this
not.
This is in pause with echnachta, that little loopy thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And so because it's in pause, the patach lengthens to kamatz, and you can't have ha with kamatz, so it switches to eh. We're going to see that another time here. All right, good. Verse 23.
Vayomer
you just want me to read through because I don't want you to wear out.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good until I'm going anyway, and it's whatever. Vayomer Hamelech zot omeret, ze b'nei hachai uvnei chamet, v'zot omeret lo ki b'nei chamet uvnei hechai.
Mm-hmm.
And the king said, this one speaking, this one saying, this is my. Okay, gotcha. Okay. This one says, this is my son, the living one, and your son is the
Mm-hmm.
dead one. And the other one says that no, your son is the dead one, and my son is the living one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, verse 24. We're going to pull up. We're almost at the end. Vayomer Hamelech Kuli charev, and in this sentence, the word kul means bring, like get something, get it for me. The king said, "Get me a sword," like take for me a sword, but it means get it. Vayaviu acherev lifnei hamelech, and they brought the sword before the king. All right, that's simple enough.
Yep.
Yaviu is from the hifil of bo. It means hevi, he brought. They brought. Vayaviu.
Vayomer Hamelech gizru et hayeled hachai leshanayim.
Lishnaim.
Sorry. Utnu et hachatzi le'achad ve'et hachatzi le'echad.
There you get it again. Look at that. Achat, echat.
Yeah.
This is really is a principle, and I've preached on it before, but it's true.
Yeah. The king said, "Cut the you all cut the cut the child, the living child, into two pieces, and give the half to the one woman and the other half to the other one."
Yeah. ותנו את החצי לאחת ואת החצי לאחת. So אחת, אחת. Great. ותאמר האישה אשר בנה החי אל המלך. Okay, so the woman whose son is the living one said to the king, כי נחמרו רחמיה על בנה, because her compassion was, what's nichmeru? Her compassion was something for her son. What's nichmar? Never heard that word before. It looks like komer, which is the word for priest, like a non-Jewish priest. Komer. Where are we? What chapter is this?
Yeah. Kindle. That's my guess. Is it's something kindled like that?
Nichmeru. Nichmeru rachamav. Nichmeru. It does happen.
It's agitated. To be agitated, hot, or burn.
That's nice. I wonder if that's related to komer, because komer is the word that we use for a priest. Komer.
Yeah, it's right under it. Yeah, only of priests of foreign deities.
Yeah, so we use it of a Catholic priest as a komer.
Yeah,
but a Jewish priest is a kohen.
Kohen. Yeah.
Okay, so her mercies were kindled for her son. Vatomer, and she said, "Bi Adoni, oh my Lord, tenula et hayalud achai, give her the living child." And yalud is like yeled. Yalud is the thing born, the infant maybe. Vehamet alt mituhu. Hamet is infinitive absolute, and putting to death, do not put him to death. Surely don't kill him. Don't kill him, right? Stressing the verb. V'zot omeret, and the other one says, gam li gam lach lo yegzoru. Also for me and also for you it will not be. In other words, the child will not belong to you and it won't belong to me. Cut it. Gzoru. Cut. Gzoru.
Yeah. There's the other form that the book does teach, the mituhu, right?
Tamituhu. This is lehamit, to put to death.
Yeah, but like the
Like
reduced
mitoro.
the reduced at the beginning, but it's also
Yeah, he
it's
actually
also
says that the third person u is always the kubutz and not shuru in the Bible.
yeah. Anywho, yeah. ויען המלך ויאמר תנו לה את הילוד החי והמת לו תמיתוהו he imo. And the king said, and the king answered and said, give her the living child, and the dead one, and sorry, and you shall certainly not kill him. Don't kill him. She is his mother.
He imo. And notice that he is the emphatic position. Imohi would be she is his mother, imohi. But he imo means she. She is his mother. He's pointing at her.
Mm-hmm.
Imohi would be the normal, like a toivahi. It is an abomination, toivahi, not he toiva. The normal personal pronoun falls at the end in the syntax. Anyway, vayishmu chol Yisrael et hamishpat, asher shafat hamelech, vayire'u mipnei hamelech, ki ra'u, I like that, yire'u, ki ra'u, ki chochmat Elohim bekirbo la'asot mishpat. So verse 28 says, and they heard, and the they is all of Israel. All Israel heard the judgment, hamishpat, which the king judged, okay, which the king made, the decision which the king made. And they feared from before the king, means they were afraid of the king, because they saw that the wisdom of God was in the midst of him, was inside of him, to make judgment, or to perform justice. It's always a fearful thing when somebody understands how to determine who's right and who's wrong, and they became afraid of him because they knew that if they did anything wrong, he would be able to figure it out and make a good judgment. How did we do? We finished on time.
Yeah. It's good.
I hope you'll pass on to James that I apologize for these last 2 weeks, for this week and last week, and not being able
He
to figure
said,
it out.
yeah, he said that his kids were at camp this week anyway, so he was taking a night with. He's been trying to spend the evenings with his wife while they're gone,
Nice.
and so he, I'm sure today of all days probably wasn't a bad. Probably the best way it could have worked out.
So
The last
next
2
week
weeks.
we'll be back to the normal schedule. So
Okay, I'll make sure
all
he
right.
knows.
And for you out there that it's your first time here, I hope that you had fun and that you learned something, because that's what we're here for, help people learn Hebrew. All right, that's it as far as I'm concerned. I don't see any questions in the live chat. So I think we'll cut it. If I had music, I'd play it here, but instead I'll just say Toda Rabba and send it out there for everybody. Have a great week.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Colton. Bye-bye.
Bye.